Hey everyone, it's Isabel. Welcome back to my channel. Today, you're in for a real treat. I was actually able to interview some of my friends who actually went up to college to do online classes instead of staying home, like me. Anyways, they had some really cool and interesting things to say about college, even in the midst of Corona. I definitely appreciate them taking time out of their schedules to meet with me. I really do appreciate it, guys, so thank you so much. But yeah, so with that, let's just get right into it.
My name is Patrick, and I go to FSU. I'm a sophomore, and I'm vibing with Ethan here.
Yeah, I'm Ethan. I'm a sophomore, and I'm in computer engineering.
Nyla. I'm a second-year student at Florida State University.
My name is Lindsay Levine. I go to UCF. I'm a sophomore this year.
Hi, my name is Peyton Schnall. I am a sophomore at the University of Central Florida. I am a psychology major with a music minor.
My name is Gavin Manganello. I go to the University of Florida, and I'm a sophomore there.
So my name is Maria. I go to University of Florida, and I'm a third-year biomedical engineering student.
So why did you decide to go back to college?
I was miserable. I have no motivation when I'm at home. My parents make me fat. There's not a gym there. I didn't see anyone but family members from March to the end of July. It was hell.
I'm feeling the same way. I was in Yulee, Florida. Shout out. That place sucks. There's nothing there. It's just like fucking swamps. So yeah, all you can do there is go to the gym. I'm so glad I'm here.
Being at home, like being sent home early back in March, kind of like took a toll on me and like kind of my mental health. And I really wanted to come back to campus just for the experience. I know there was going to be a lot of like regulations coming back, but I definitely felt like I wanted to make the most of my college experience, even if it was just coming to my dorm and like staying in there.
So currently, I still have an in-person class. I have one. So 1 out of 4 of my classes are in person. So that's what mainly drive me to come back into dorm again.
I just wanted to be back in the same atmosphere and try to just make things feel as normal as they can with what's happening right now.
I decided to go back for a few reasons. Primarily, I wanted to be back at school, to be with my friends and to be with, like the people that I spend so much time with.
I actually had signed a lease for a house that I'm living in right now, like before COVID started. So I was kind of bound to that. So I figured I might as well come back up, especially because I was back home over the summer. So I figured it's good to kind of come back and like get away a little bit.
So what did your parents think about you going back?
My mom was really happy for me, but she was also really sad because she has empty nest syndrome. And also she's a little badonkers in the head.
I mean, I think my parents were happy to get me out of there. I mean, it was like either have me sitting in my room all day or have me at college, like talking to people.
My family, I feel like they were all right with it. They obviously had their concerns and they were right. They wanted me to be able to focus on school and be able to just put all my effort into that.
They understood, like, I wanted to be here. They knew that Gainesville is a home for me. And the University of Florida is like one of the loves of my life.
But what are the regulations being set by your university to kind of follow the CDC guidelines?
Like when you go to the gym, you gotta make an appointment. You gotta bring a water bottle and a mask, and you have to like do a daily wellness check. Me and Ethan were actually working out together today, and we got stopped because we were working in with each other. And the guy told us we can't do that anymore. That was pretty sad. I almost want to start crying.
Yeah, I did start crying in the middle of the gym. But you know me, I pushed through it.
No gatherings of students with like more than 10 people if it's a student organization. But if it's like a university organization, it's like limited to 50, I think. Oh, and if you live on campus, you can only have one guest over per resident.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed Florida State has been doing recently is they're having randomized testing. So they kind of determine who should get tested by the amount of swipes that their card goes through on campus, like if they swipe to get into a dining hall or into the library or anything. So I think that's actually really interesting. I haven't really heard other universities doing that. So they'll send you like an email, like, we would like you to get randomly tested. It is voluntary, but I've been noticing a lot of the students are actually open to being randomly tested just for the sake of it, because, you know, with COVID, there's times where you can have it but be asymptomatic. So I think that was really interesting. I got chosen. I'm thinking about going to go get tested as well.
So the regulations are like obviously like masks and stuff inside the classroom. My class is in an auditorium, so it sits like 300, but like every 6 chairs are like marked off. So you're always in like the 7th chair. So you're like way farther than 6 feet. You're like 10 feet at least from other people. Make sure that you don't have overnight guests. That's a big thing at the dorms. Technically, it's up to you and your roommates on whether you want to actually go through with that rule. The RAs won't stop you. There's some leeway in there.
And a lot of activities are canceled, a lot of the in-person activities, so things like that. Also, they recently like canceled spring break and then extended winter break by a week. So that's kind of new.
In your opinion, do you think that the students at your university are actually following these rules?
There's that picture of COVID State University that went on Twitter and got real popular.
Yes, but when it comes to certain instances like lockouts, so I work with housing, and so when we get calls about lockouts and all that kind of stuff, chances are sometimes they lock themselves out of their bedroom, so you have to go into their actual space, like into their apartment, and then let them in through their room. But the thing is, they lock their masks and their cell phones usually in their room, so you can't like walk in and say, hey, can you put on a mask or something, because chances are they won't have them ready. So it's always like, hey, can you please wait in your living room while I go and lock your door, please? So yes, but I do see some people not wearing masks like when doing their laundry, which really sucks because that is a common area and we all touch those machines. So we can get better on that, and who knows if it will be stricter. Me, as working with housing, like I sometimes feel obligated to say like, hey, can you go back into your room?
The people that I'm close with, I know that they're, you know, being careful and everything. But when I do like drive or like kind of near campus at night, like on weekends, I do see people like even without masks, and some of the clubs and bars are open. So I'm not really sure, you know, how closely people are following the rules. But I'm hoping that they are.
So do you guys know if there have been any new cases?
Oh yeah, it's on.
Hell yeah.
I think last week it was like 850, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we're on our way to be the #1 college in the U.S.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I think the New York Times is tracking like all the cases. I think we're in the top 10 universities for getting like the most cases right now or something.
Yeah, we're gonna be #1 by next month. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Florida State numero uno.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
like I know a guy who, unnamed person who partied all the time, and he has it now. It's like,
yeah,
it's like all the party people are
I know
doing
that
it.
guy too.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
So we did have cases, and we still currently do. For the most part, the people that stay in the spaces are just quarantining. They're not like positive, but maybe like their roommate or their close friend is. So they want to quarantine just in case, which you always should do, especially if you came in contact with anyone. But right now, we're not horrible. But I mean, we live in UCF and we live in Orlando, and we're one of the biggest campuses. We're the biggest campus basically on Florida. So we have a bunch. So it's scary to think about.
Pretty sure there have been. They have this dashboard that is like updated, I think, weekly. I think it's broken down into like staff, self-reported, students who tested positive from move-in, because I know if you were living on campus or on-campus Greek housing, you have to be tested before you moved in. I don't think it's accurate personally, because it's self-reported, and I feel like a lot of people don't want to say that they were because they don't want to be hounded by the university, or might have just been they were positive a while ago and it's not as relevant now, but we still don't know everything about the virus. So I just wish that we had more accurate numbers and like better like access to testing.
There have certainly been a lot of cases within the past 2 weeks. A friend of mine actually did test positive for the coronavirus, and he's been in quarantine for the past 10 days or so. So he should be wrapping up in a few days, and then he's going to get a test and check himself again to make sure that the virus is out of his system.
I believe at University of Florida, a professor had mentioned that like 26% of people tested were positive like recently, so that's kind of a big number, and cases are like going up. Also, my brother lives in a dorm here, and he said that he knows people who were recently like diagnosed as positive in his building and on his floor, so definitely more cases happening.
What's it like in terms of restrictions on activities and actual establishments like stores, even things like, bars and clubs and stuff like that?
Definitely a lot of the clubs have been closing down. They are trying, though, to keep all of these activities online, of course, through Zoom and being just active through Zoom. And I've seen a lot of these clubs and activities kind of, as they move to Zoom, a lot of their normal activities that they would be doing in person, they've had to kind of really work harder to get everything together in a way that's still engaging and fun over the computer screen. So I think everyone's taking like that initiative, and I can see that. So I think it's really cool.
Definitely, like grocery stores have limited hours. I know that since we don't have a gym on our campus, we usually use the Y, but the Y is still closed. Obviously, Disney World is open, SeaWorld's open, Universal's open, and for the most part, half of the people who live in my dorms at the Rosen campus work at one of those parks. So there is a lot of people going in and out. So there's no like nightlife per se, but there's like a day life, if you know what I'm talking about.
There are still plenty of activities on campus, but within social distancing guidelines. For instance, the gym, Southwest Rec, which is the main gym center on campus, it's still operational, but at a very limited capacity. Even the outdoor sports like tennis and volleyball, you have to check in at the center, and you have to get your temperature checked, and you also have to wear a mask while you play. So they are enforcing that, and if you don't wear a mask, you get kicked out right away.
Do you think that your university will end up shutting down earlier than the planned semester, or do you think you guys will be able to finish just as planned?
I used to think that in the beginning of the semester, but I am starting to see a change of heart in a majority of the students here. I think they're starting to realize how serious this could be. Since we are planned to go home before Thanksgiving and then just stay home for those last 2 weeks, I think that in the next 2 months, I think everybody will be able to handle themselves in a way that won't get the fall semester shut down.
I know that we have plans to go fully remote after Thanksgiving break. I think it just really depends on how people act and if they're going out to parties and doing things that aren't safe. I mean, with the way that it is, I think that we could make it through a majority, but it depends on how flu season's going to act.
I hate to be pessimistic here, but I don't think that we're going to have the ability to sustain ourselves until the end of the semester.
That's a tough question. I don't know. I think we might be able to make it just because most classes are online. So I'm not sure. I know classes are in person for some classes until Thanksgiving. So I believe when Thanksgiving comes, all the classes will be completely online at that point.
So do you think that there would be a difference in your motivation if you'd stayed at home rather than going up and doing classes online in college?
When I'm taking a lot of credit hours, I require quiet, and I have to think, and I have to be studying and focus. So being at home with my family wasn't going to be the best experience for me, even though I love them. But I definitely think coming up to school and being on campus and being in my dorm room kind of really changed things for me. I'm definitely more focused. I don't have a roommate at the moment, so I don't go out that often. So when I am in my room, I'm able to focus and sit at my desk or even in my living room and just kind of really go in on my schoolwork.
100%. Being back here, definitely I'm more in the mindset of I have to get things done. Whether when I was at home, even in high school, like I didn't have the same like motivation for studying as I do now, and like I'm definitely on myself a lot more, just being more accountable. I've changed a lot of my study habits, so I definitely feel like being back here is so much healthier and just being able to get things done.
I don't think so that much for me because I feel like I'm relatively motivated and able to kind of manage my time with like classes throughout the day online. I am taking one in-person lab class, so that would have to be online, and there would probably be less motivation for that and to do as well and stuff, but that's pretty much the only difference, yeah.
So is there a message that you would like to tell your peers about literally going to college in a pandemic? Anything about online classes, your university, anything like that?
Stop clubbing, please. I don't want to get sent home. Wear masks.
Yeah, what he said. That's about the best I can do. Like, I don't know, cut back. You don't need to go 5 times a week. You can go like 2. That's fine.
Yeah, but like here's the thing. If you just party a ton this semester, there's not going to be a second semester where you can actually do stuff. So everyone needs to stop, just being dip and listen to the guidelines.
Yeah. Being in an off-campus apartment, you hear big parties like every weekend. So you can just hear the COVID being spread.
I definitely think that going to university in a pandemic has changed everything. Corona is kind of just up in the air. We don't know how long it's going to last. But I'm glad that I was able to get my first year of college kind of like problem-free, I guess, pandemic-free. So this is very different, not being able to go out and interact with people and create connections. But I think that everybody's like kind of working together.
I mean, my message is always just please, like, think about other people. I don't know, like, be kind to everyone you meet. You don't know what people are going through, especially during this time, whether it's, like, family members dealing with difficulties or you yourself. If you come in contact with anyone and give them attitude, they might have already been dealing with something. So just always keep in mind about, like, other people, and they have feelings, too, and stuff. So just try to always be careful. That's what I'd have to say.
Still, like the best way to describe it is like a fever dream. Your mental health matters, and you still need to be able to do things that make you happy, because sitting in a dorm 24/7 is not healthy for you mentally nor physically. So getting outside and still finding ways to meet up with people, but in a safe and social distanced way. And also just don't be stupid. Don't go to parties. Like, there are people who will report you at this point, and they should.
Stay motivated as much as you can. As far as your online classes go, it's not ideal for everyone. Unfortunately, we just have to deal with it. It'll get better, I hope. Optimistically, I really do hope it gets better. Just be smart. Be smart. Don't put others in jeopardy just because you wanted to party. Don't put others in jeopardy just because you wanted to hang out. Don't put others in jeopardy and then ruin their time. So just be smart, be safe, be smart, and work hard.
I mean, I would just say, like, I hope everyone is staying safe and taking precautions so that things can get as back to normal as possible, like as soon as possible.
Alrighty everyone, like always, thank you so much for watching my video. I cannot express how much I appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Or if you have any other suggestions for me, let me know. I'm always open to them. Also, please remember to follow me on social media so that you keep up with everything that I'm doing, whether it be just shenanigans or updates on my channel. I know I'm not really that interesting, but I don't know, maybe something cool will happen. But yeah, so with that, I'm going to close out the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!